Hi, Fairfax County. This is Lisa Connors from the Office of Public Affairs, and we're here at Hollin Hall Senior Center for a really cool program to help older adult drivers learn how to drive more safely out on the road. And with us, we have Officer Tara Gerhard, who is here to explain. She is from our Traffic Safety Services and here to explain how the program works. And we also have a wonderful resident here who is going to be our guinea pig to show us how this whole thing works. But first, Tara, can you tell us a little bit about what the program is?
Sure. The CarFit program is designed for our experienced drivers. The goal is to make sure they just feel comfortable and safe in their vehicles. We talk about blind spots, we talk about seat adjustment, making sure the steering wheel is far enough away from their chest, to prevent injury. Talk about wearing their seatbelt properly, making sure they can access all the safety features of their vehicle. And we just kind of remind them of some general safety habits here on the road.
Okay. Just for reference, what are some of the tips that you will go over with this checklist?
Specifically, the blind spot one is really awesome. We'll help them adjust their mirrors to eliminate that, because as we age, we have a hard time turning over our shoulder. And so with that, or maybe if somebody has neck issues, even still, it's really beneficial to make that turn or to prevent from making that turn. So we talk about the blind spots. Really, that's probably my favorite part of it. Okay. But also a lot of people don't know that the airbag comes out, at like 200 miles an hour. I mean, that's a lot of pressure coming right out at your chest.
Right.
So we want to make sure that airbag is in fact facing your chest and not here, because here would be some serious injuries.
Right. And I also think I saw something about where you have to make sure you have you can see above the dash a certain amount.
Correct. A lot of people like to sit close and they like to sit low in their seat, because that's where they, you see a lot of little older ladies sitting a little too low. Right. So we want to raise them up a little bit and give them that good line of sight over, so they don't maybe hit a curb or whatever else in front of them. We want to keep them safe.
Great. So let's get started with our checklist program here, and we have a wonderful resident, Valerie, who is going to let us go through with her and see how she fits to her car for the CarFit. And Tara, if you want to explain how they're going through.
Sure. We have Officer Eggers here from the Franconia District. She's the crime prevention officer, and she'll be taking us through the course of what we go through with our experienced drivers.
Okay. Valerie, are you the only driver of the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm looking here, and I'm looking that you have your seatbelt on. So the beautiful thing about the seatbelt is we want it to go across the pelvic girdle area and not into our abdominal area, because when it goes up into our abdominal area, this is a lot of soft tissue. So we want to make sure our strongest part of our body is actually our pelvic girdle. The second strongest is going to be our clavicle area. So we want it to come up over the chest and actually secure us into the seat. Now, obviously, as we age, we have a tendency sometimes that the seat starts to change for us and we start to lean over. If you start getting cutting of the neck, we do have devices that are aftermarket that you can buy that are cushions that are designed for the vehicle to help lift you up, so that way you don't get that cutting into the neck. Because a lot of times when it starts to cut into the neck, we're all three at heart, right? We have the tendency that we want to pull it off and we put it behind us instead of actually wearing it the appropriate way. So you're wearing your seatbelt appropriately. It's not behind your arm, and it is hitting appropriately onto your pelvic girdle. So that's good. So from here, we're actually going to check. So when you look, and the beautiful thing is with your Hyundai is that your hood actually slopes downward, which is a good thing. So when you're looking at your steering wheel, when you have this open area, can you see your speedometer and your altimeter both?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well, good. And also with that, I asked, can you see above that actual, that's 3 inches. So we want to make sure you can see above that straight out.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have good side alignment. So that's good too as well. So we have above 3 inches. And then also, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm going to put this in between.
Okay.
So good. We have a good 10 inches from the steering wheel to your chest. We actually have a little bit more, so that's good, because we, as Officer Gerhard said, the airbag comes out at 200 miles an hour, so we don't want you to be too close to the airbag, because if you're too close, the airbag will not have fully deployed, so you get all the injury, which is the burns and the fractures, but you don't get any of the benefit because you're too close and the airbag hasn't fully deployed at that point. So it looks like when you hold your steering wheel, go ahead and hold your steering wheel, so you have good height above your actual knees, so that's good. Now, when you drive, do you have problems with shoulders? Like, do your shoulders start to hurt, or do you feel pretty good?
Unless I'm well, that 700-mile drive from
700
Jackson to here was a rough one.
I'm sure it was.
Normally, no.
So you don't have any issues with that.
No.
So that's good. Because I know a lot of times some of my seniors, when they do the long trips, because of the way that they drive, one of the things also that we advise is...
So also, we just got a question, I believe, from Charles about what people who are shorter can do to make it safer for them to drive with the airbags, concerns about the airbags. And so Officer Gerhard has a show and tell for us to show us what people can do.
I do. Great question. Glad you asked. So there are seat cushions out that you can actually use. The ones that you should be using have kind of like a gripper on the bottom of it, so then it catches your seat and it lifts your backside up, and it should help. They make different sized ones, so whether your seat is wide or whether you need a different thickness. You can also talk to an occupational therapist who can maybe get something more custom fit for you, but this is also a good option. I believe I got this for about $20, so it's not a super expensive fix, but it's definitely a good option to help alleviate that problem.
Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about, you can see more people are pulling up for the program, and we want to do more programs throughout the county. This is relatively new. We just had one recently, I think you were saying about in Vienna. We had 30 people show up for it, which is awesome.
Yes.
And so I want to talk a little bit about where people can get more information if they're interested in participating in this great program.
If anybody would like to participate, or even if you would like to host a program, you can give me a call. My number is 703-280-0530. And we can arrange one. It can be, at a senior center. It can be at a religious facility. It can be for a women's or a men's club. I'm happy to come out and set this up for any size group that you have.
Awesome. And also you can send an email to Tara, and you want to give your email address?
Sure. It's Tara, Tara .Gerhard. It's GERHARD as in David, at fairfaxcounty.gov.
Okay. And let's also talk a little bit. There is a website people can go to, and it's
car-fit.org.
Right.
And you can see if you're not local to the area, or you know of somebody maybe in Texas that would like to benefit from this program, you can actually go on car-fit.org and locate their nearest event as well. It is a nationwide program.
Right, and we have some great partners too. Innova is here.
Correct, yeah.
As well, and it's also through the AARP and AAA, I believe.
Correct,
right?
yep.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for coming to this Facebook Live. Please tell your friends, and please, if you're interested in either hosting an event or participating in an event, we'd like to hear from you and have more of these opportunities for our older drivers throughout the county.
Perfect.
Right,
Thanks for having us.